This message is dedicated to all the so-called aware people who are aware about the brutal reality of the world in which we live, where we do understand what is happening and where everything is heading to. So, if you, viewer, consider yourself a reasonable and responsible person, then please listen to me very carefully, because what you will decide to do after listening to my message here might decide your future survival, and the survival of the West in general, which means the future of us all. As you should already know, the situation in the West sucks, and it's getting worse. The destruction of our Western nations is progressing. Our traditional civilizational values are being trashed. Our people, national culture, are slowly being replaced. We are losing the demographic race in our home countries, with outsiders from outside Europe who migrated to live with us in the lands of our ancestors. And more of our rights are being ignored or taken away from us, thanks to the excuses of our governments who claim they care about our health and security. That's how they divide our nations, how they cage us in even more, to create an easy-to-control cattle farm, where the cattle will struggle to progress forward and where the cattle won't be able to organize or unite again to resist our puppet politicians or international oppressors who successfully enslaved all our Western countries today with endless debt, who control the entire system by manipulation and corruption, and who continue to fool our societies, the Western people, indoctrinating and dumbing them down with endless propaganda from the mass media and corrupt education. So, if you, listener, if you are aware of this, what are you doing about it? What are you doing to oppose this destruction or to change our fate, which seems to be sealed because we hold no control over the worsening situation? And it doesn't matter if you are young or old, poor or rich, or where you live, because with time, the reality of the changing world will impact us all, and definitely our children and future generations will pay the highest price for our ignorance and laziness. And there is no escape from this based on how the situation looks like today. No matter how you prepare yourself, you cannot avoid the fate which will be shared by all the people with European origins in this world. So what are you actually doing to change this? And I will throw some examples now because it's important to point it out. Are you, as an aware person, suffering from the brutal reality of the world, whining and crying about the situation? Do you complain daily when you come back home from work, or where you hide all the time because you are unemployed? Where you go online from your phone or computer, checking the news, join like-minded aware community groups or videos of other aware people who talk about the issues in their videos, of which in the comment section you join in, cheering, trying to show others how smart you are by pointing out what the main problem is, and with each line of comment screen, with each new comment, you got another guy shouting the same thing about what the problem is. Occasionally, someone will point out how things should be or what should be done, but it's just one of many noble, empty, unrealistic ideas which cannot be applied to our reality from our meaningless position in society today. But at the end, you guys give each other a thumb up, maybe add something positive such as people are waking up, everything is going to be fine, we still have guns, we will rise and fix our countries one day. But after you do your feeling better about myself ritual online, the next day at work you won't dare to talk with your normie friends or coworkers about any of those subjects, any of those issues. Often you won't dare to talk with your own family about those subjects, and you will just remain a good wage slave or a social support parasite, playing games, being a good, quiet, aware sheep among ignorant sheeps, and that's how you waste another day of your life and another day of our precious time before the irreversible damage to our nations will be made one day. And then you and the other aware people will be like, what the heck happened? Why are things worse today and more oppressive than they were a year ago? Just the same as it was for the last 20 years or longer. What are you people hoping for or counting on? The future won't save itself on its own. We must work together to fix our situation today. Nobody else will do it for us. The majority of people will not wake up until it will be too late to fix anything, until they already realize one day that they are already a minority in their own countries, or when the state goes bankrupt and there is no longer money for social support to keep them relatively stable and happy at their own home. Aware people are an absolute minority in our countries. We have no true voting power, no impact on national politics. And those who rule this system or offer us a platform to exchange our thoughts, opinions, can do whatever they want with us. And we are not even able to or organized enough to defend each other. When the cops knock at our friends' doors, or when they remove your account from YouTube, Google, or anything like that, all people do is just cry and whine about it. But at the end, they always submit, without effectively opposing the damage which has been done. We are at the mercy of the system. Meaningless, alienated individuals spread all over the world, seldom with like-minded our friends in the real world or any local community of our people which we could fit in. That's why they can do whatever they want with us without consequences. That's why they continue ruining our countries, replacing us, destroying our culture's values without consequences. In the worst case scenario, they will just exchange puppets who rule our countries from time to time. But that's it. And time is passing by. We are getting older. There's fewer of us with strength or the capability of doing anything, and there is more and more people from outside who swarm to our countries, creating new citizens who are not like us, who do not think like we do, who do not share our values or concerns, because why should they? Everything bad that is happening today in the West is the best evidence that aware people like us have nothing to say about it. They can ignore us, discriminate against us, mute us, act against our will, just because we are an absolute minority in our own countries. We are irrelevant. And it will not change, because even if we have thousands of aware famous people preaching about the reason and sanity and the problems with our countries today, they will never become mainstream powerful influencers, which will have an impact on the population of our countries today. The aware preachers, propaganda outlets, are listened to by those who want to listen. And the ignorant masses who dominate in our countries today simply don't care. And they won't start to care until the living quality in their countries will make them to care. But when it happens, it will be already too late to fix anything, as I explained in my videos, which means we cannot rely on hoping that the masses will awake. It's not going to happen. It's not an option. For those who still do not know, there is an interview with a man called Yuri Bezmenov. He specialized in psychological warfare, and he understands what is the power of indoctrination and how people can be blind and ignorant or on even evidence in front of their eyes to accept it as a fact if they believe in something else or been told to believe in something else. I recommend everybody to watch this interview about this so-called useful idiots. I made a video series called Alternative Ideas Debunked List. I have a video about why a political solution is impossible, why an organized armed uprising is a fairy tale, or a mass suicide for guys on our side, why proprietarianism is not a solution, why banning private central banking is an unrealistic idea, and even why prepping will not save our future. I made a separate video for each subject, and nobody has managed to disagree with my claims by providing reasonable arguments. Also, I have a video why there is no internet security or privacy, where my arguments are also solid. So if anyone believes that you can plot some future-saving plans for our future in conspiracy while operating on internet, you may throw it into the trash because it's either already compromised or simply doesn't care about helping us all over the world. So such plans are just for those who are still naive enough to believe them to be secured enough. Whatever you are planning for your local area, for your community, or even your country, it will not save the future of the West, or your state, your nation, if you plan to leave the rest of the world behind. Those who control our system today understand this. They designed it this way. They control our countries internationally. And even through liberating one to be up against many is a lose-lose situation, which will not change the final outcome, nor allow your country to remain independent and survive, especially economically survive. The only way to save and secure our future is international cooperation and organization, which our plan offers to save our future. We will not leave our people from other nations behind. We must work together. It's the only way to move forward in this struggle for our future. If there are any groups out there with some future-saving plans, which are being organized and planned in secret, in conspiracy, And if you want to help us all the aware people, then we all need to know. If we are all to know, then you cannot keep such plans a secret. And we cannot trust those plans which we do not know. So why are so many people so naive to trust empty promises and declarations, if there is no rational argument to back them up? Why so many of you are following people who are guiding you to nowhere, who have no plan, or telling you that they will not share the plan for security reasons? It makes no sense. It's illogical to be so naive. If there is someone who hasn't seen my videos about those subjects, and you do consider any of those mentioned ideas as a valid solution, I do encourage you to go and watch it right now. They are all on our channel. About the internet security, about political solution, about armed uprising, proprietarianism, all of that. It's all on the channel. Go and check it out and try to disagree with my claims. But there is one realistic solution which we may use to save our future. And I mean for all of us, the aware people from all over the world. And this solution is presented in the 9-part video series, which is also available on our channel. How many of you care enough to research this plan? How many of you did? How many of you spread the word about this plan to inform other YouTubers who are officially on our side, or people who share our concerns about our future in general but haven't heard of this plan? If you do know how bad the situation is today, and you see that things for us are getting worse, and especially if you don't have a better solution to offer to us or inform us about, then why do many not care enough to research the material presented in our videos? Are you really sure? Are you that confident that you know better than anyone else? Because the plan which we present was verified by many different people from all over the world. So it's not only about my empty claim anymore. Read the comment section. Check what they have to say about it, other people. But without a doubt, it's the only realistic solution which can be applied to our situation today. So, why do they not care enough to do the research, or to help inform other people about it if their lives, their future depends on the success of this plan, and why we need people to know? There is currently 2,500-600 subscribers to our channel, from which barely 100 are supportive to the extent of actually researching the details or spreading the word. I cannot be sure about the exact numbers, maybe more, but the fact remains, majority of our people do not care about how they can save themselves and our future in this world. Now, some people might jump at me saying that the narration quality is poor. It's difficult to listen. It's long, boring. So they have neither time nor patience to study what we are proposing. Well, did you have time to watch another meaningless live stream discussion recently? How about spending hours talking with your friends about how the situation sucks and exchanging comments about recent events from around the world? How about hours of time which was wasted on playing games or watching sports? Time for those activities exists prioritized and reserved because it's what most people like doing. It's entertaining, right? Time to research a plan which might save our future? Not really, because it's boring and long. What type of argument is that? Do we want to have a future or not? Do you want to have a future or not? Because if you want to have a future, do what is boring, not nice, but necessary. Study the solution, judge and help if you approve. As easy as that. I bet most of you hated school. Still, you were forced to go. It did benefit your future later, at least in some part. With this plan, this operation, it's very much same thing, but it might be life-saving knowledge. So do not be lazy, do not ignore, act reasonable. I hope I am not asking for too much to help us save our future. If the majority of aware people will be so irresponsible, then we already lost, and there is nothing worth fighting for anymore. Because apparently the majority of our people are here to enjoy the show. They prefer to focus their attention on time-wasting entertainment, games and joy, drama, without having any interest to organize or form a meaningful resistance to our destruction. Most prefer to shout, wave flags, slogans on the streets, in small groups, or on the internet and exchange memes to have fun, instead of acting rational and reasonable. I have serious doubts that the majority of our people are able and willing to take things a bit more seriously, because as it stands today, most of you ignore my basic requests and did not pay attention enough to discover the secret video on my channel, which is almost impossible to miss if you pay attention to what you are listening to. I was addressing with my material to the aware people. I thought we are smarter than that, not driven by emotions or what makes us feel good. But the majority of our people don't seem to care. And without people assembled fast enough, our operation will fail. Crisis is already here, for the love of God. Seems like we might be forced to wait. Same with the ignorant masses. They won't care until it's already too late, so maybe the situation must turn much worse in order to make people care. Just don't forget, it's an enormous risk to take because it might already be too late to reverse the damage. I cannot reason with people who do not act as reasonable people, and I cannot make them care if they don't care about saving yourself and our future on their own. We are running out of time. Why the West is dying. We will continue doing what we can, but it will all die in vain if more people from our ranks don't start acting smart and actually help. We do not have all the time in the world. We are running out of time. And the first objective is not yet accomplished. There should be 5 times of us subscribed to this channel as it is today. We are using what we have. Team members helping however they can. But we cannot do everything alone. We must mobilize and act responsible. I wait for their announcements and thank you for listening until the end.